Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
Okay, everybody. So we're going to bring in one more Shopify merchant speaker. There's 3 of them. It's Andy, Hunter, Elena, and Eve from Lynch Creek Wreaths. I'm going to bring them in right away. After that, we're going to pivot. I'm going to bring in my colleague, Ivana, and she's going to be running some conversations with some of the best apps in the industry right now. She's going to be talking to Lizzie from Klaviyo. She's going to be talking to Marco from Privy, and as well, Mr. Toth from Recart. So I'm going to hop right into this with Andy and Elena and Eve. So I got you in there, and let's just get Elena in here as well. All right. Thank you all so much for joining.
Hey, Scott. Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great. I'll give a brief introduction. We were in the Seattle Shopify meetup in February. We had some great speakers there, great conversations. One thing that I learned about Seattle is that the Shopify merchants and business owners are really sophisticated out there. And Lynch Creek Farms and Wreaths falls very much into this category. Eve was there at the very front of the meetup asking a ton of questions. He basically became a co-presenter because he was so engaged in the conversation. And we've followed up our conversation, and I just talked to all 3 of them last week as we prepared for this meetup. And I asked them right now, I said, is there a lot of things that are really different with your business right now? And they're in a really, really unique space. They are the kings and queens of Christmas. So they have one really, really huge, massive, and I'll let Andy tell you how massive that space is during that season. But they told me, they said, usually this time of the year, we're spending planning anyway. So I think that, there's going to be some inventory forecasting. There's going to be some consumer demand planning. There's all these things that you're going to be preparing for. But why don't I pass it over to you, Andy? Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and about how things are going right now?
Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Things are at home, like we all are. We are in the process of planning and preparing for the winter season, which is 100% of what we do. It's fourth quarter. It's Christmas wreaths, centerpieces, garlands, little trees, direct to consumer. We don't sell on Amazon. We sell very much branded products and only branded products. And we've been doing it for a long time. Very, very proud of our product that we produce. And I appreciate you having us on here.
Well, tell me about like the first year versus this year. Compare the volume and how that operation goes.
The first year was $72 in total sales, Scott. So I have a little slide I can present. Can I try to do this? I'm not
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Share your screen.
Yeah. So let's see if I can do this correctly here. Anybody? Here we go. All right. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah, it looks really great. And yeah, one of the things I was going to recommend this to Kat. Kat, yours look phenomenal too. But you make it full screen. There we go.
Okay. And it's hard. I mean, I've not done this before. Of course, working from home is all new to us anyway. But following up Kat, that was a great presentation, and I really appreciate it. Mine is not maybe not so much as sophisticated as hers is, but this just shows you the longevity of the farm and where we started from. Now, we started as a very much a small business, as we like to continue to operate it today. But in 1980, we started out as a vegetable organic hobby farm, keeping kind of 3 boys out of trouble. That's my parents started. So we did a little local farmers market here, and the total sales were about $72. So that's what I did as a young kid and enjoyed. And as you can read on our website, I really enjoyed the process. I didn't necessarily enjoy being drug out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning by my dad, but it it really probably taught me some good work ethics and whatnot. But 80 is when we started. We introduced flowers and then wreaths during the 80s and in the 90s. Now this was well before the internet or anything, so it was old school. It was send selling at the farmer's market, trying to convince customers to buy a wreath, and then maybe ship a wreath. And then that was 90 or 92. The flower business was the focus with some veggies, and then we did a little wreath business on the side during the winter months just to keep a presence at the local farmers market. And I made Christmas wreaths when I was in high school, so that's how I earned a little bit of money, not much, but just to help out with the family business. In 92, we started our retail floral shop, or my mom did, and I went to college, so I graduated high school in 92. Tells you how old I am, I guess. So, and then went to college, and the wreath business was really secondary. It wasn't a big focus of the farm at all. And in 98, went to college, worked as started a career, kind of came back to the farm, and in 98, $8,000 was the total wreath sales for that season. I was working with my dad, so it was a couple of us, my dad and I and Mary Ann, and we had a total of 5 products, and they all had red bows on them. One of them was a traditional wreath, which is kind of the same, similar to what we sell today, but it was very simple, and that was basically what the industry had anyway at that point. It was very difficult to work with my dad, and I needed something to do when I grew up. So, and I love the business. I love farming. I still grow flowers to this day. I have 12,000 dahlia plants, 3 acres of dahlias, which we use as kind of a community service oriented event where we give back to the community. But in 99 and 98, 99 transition, it was what was I going to do when I grew up? So in 99, my dad was a flower delivery guy. He had retired from his job and was helping mom out. And then I decided to take the wreath business from what it was and a little bit of the flowers on. And it was myself, Mary Ann, and then Henry, I like to say, which was a potbelly pig, a really mean potbelly pig at the time. Producing our first color brochure, introducing decorated wreaths. So this was berries, these were apples, these were things adornments that we are known for today, that we put on a wreath, different bow options. Even back then it was very few products, but still it was a change that I saw that customers wanted. Now this was largely farmers market, sending out a not even a catalog at that time, just a brochure, I guess. In 99, it was the first color brochure that I did, but it was very simple. We have them framed in our office for the last 20 years of all of the color brochures. It's pretty cute, actually. So that year we did $17,000 in sales. Some pictures that I was able to get this morning, looking at the farmer's market, there's my wife and I. This is our market stall. We actually still continue to sell at the Olympia Farmers Market, which is the second largest farmers market in the state of Washington. We continue to sell to this day, in the wintertime only though. So this is our stall back in 2000. 2000 to 2010 was definitely a transition period, a growth period for us, as it always has been. I've always preached sustainable growth. I've always preached we make a better wreath. And that's really what we do. We want people to have a wreath that really is, is something special for their door. In 2000, we were in a 2,000 square foot barn with a dirt floor. That's where we started. This was still before internet. There were websites and whatnot. So we created our informative site. In 2001, which was just a placeholder, showed some pictures. Hey, call us up. We had dial-up internet at the farm, and which was fun. Little hard to get information quickly, but we made it work. It was growing 20 to 30 to 50%. I think some years it was 50% growth that we had. So 2003, we organized a new website with web ordering. That first year we did $20,000 in online sales. At that point, 2,000 square feet wasn't enough. We actually started bringing in circus tents, and as the business continued to grow, we had additional needs for space and whatnot. So a mobile trailer, circus tents, and so on and so forth. And then we were very specifically selling Christmas wreaths at the time, just different variations of that. And then the centerpieces, which is the centerpieces are about 30% of our business now, was started accidentally when we created a designer's box, which is a designer centerpiece kit for customers to put together your own centerpiece. So we are a gifting company largely, but people, want the do it yourself as well. So I had this brilliant idea that I would create a designer's box that would allow people to make their own centerpiece at home. And so you would get a box, it was $39, and you could create 2 centerpieces. Well, we had to take a picture to show what these centerpieces would look like when they were finished. So we took a picture and and then the picture looked pretty good. So we said, why wouldn't we just try to sell a centerpiece? We aren't going to sell any centerpieces, but we're going to sell this box. This is a centerpiece kit that people can create their own. That year we sold 9 designer centerpiece boxes, and we sold 500 centerpieces. So that kind of turned the corner on. People don't really want to create their own centerpiece, but they really like to get a finished product. So that kind of became another part of the business. In 2008, 2009, as sales improved. Now, as it relates, it's kind of interesting as it relates to, this is just a little history of the farm and whatnot, but in 2008 and 2009, we continued to grow at the same rate that we had through the 2000s. There was no slump in sales from, the financial crisis at the time. Fortunately, maybe some customers changed, their habits changed. We gained some, we lost some, but there was not a drastic change to our business, a drop off in sales, if you will. So, which was nice, but we also smaller at that time. And that's when Eve, our director of operations, joined the team as a high school kid. I have with me, so Eve is director of operations. Elena is also here. She's director of customer service. And Eve started as a high school kid, taking wreaths out to the woods to store them, bringing them back. Again, it was still very small. Eve, you want to say hi?
Yeah, guys. Yeah, started, back then, 2009, and farm was, as Andy said, 2,000 square feet. Now we're a 100,000 square feet facility. We order a lot of inventory. We order a lot of stuff to be able to do what we do. And Andy will kind of finish this slide, and then I'll add a little more to that.
Yeah, thanks, Eve. Again, it's always sustainable growth. So we had a need that we needed more space. 2,000 square feet certainly wasn't going to do it. So we moved into a 13,000 square foot facility. I'll just quickly go through these. We started to introduce and understand that we needed more automation, tape machines, conveyors, bins. We traditionally stored wreaths. We just did what we had to do to get by. So we stored wreaths outside in a woods or in a woody area when we were on the farm. Now we were in a commercial space and we needed a cooler, which we rented part of our neighbor's cooler, as well as we needed bins to store product in, which are a 4x4 by 4 foot bin that holds 48 wreaths. So we didn't own a bin in 2009. We owned a few bins in 2010. Today we own 4,000 bins. So it's definitely been, as the business increases, things like that also increase as well, of course. 2012, the product line expanded to include the mini trees, which are little tabletop trees, the cutest things in the world. Black Friday and Cyber Monday became a real thing. We very much specifically order products, and that's what we're doing now to create these Black Friday, Cyber Monday specials that are a big part of our customers, and they look forward to finding out what that special is for the farm. 13 departments organized. We have a fundraising department, a corporate gifting department, customer service department, and then we have wreath, centerpiece design, centerpiece production, wreath design, wreath production. Everybody, all these departments have very specific department leads as well. So we actually, again, it's a real business, so we needed to kind of grow up and act like one. 2015, outgrowing our current space, and we needed more room. Wreaths are very bulky. Everything we do, we are first and foremost a manufacturer. We buy raw material, we bring it in semi-trucks, and we have a production team of around 80 people that produce wreaths. And we needed more space. 13,000 square feet. We expanded a little bit, wasn't enough. So we currently took over a sawmill in 2016. It's 100,000 square feet. It's 3 buildings. We put roughly $1.5 million worth of our money into improving the facilities, walls. You can imagine what a sawmill looks like. It wasn't good. We made it nice. Offices, so on and so forth. 2016, Eve will talk about our ERP that we moved to. As orders increase, it's funny when Kat was talking about handwritten gift messages. We used to handwrite all of our gift messages. Now this was years ago, and I loved to do that. And honestly, in some cases, still wish that we did. But after I looked at my handwriting on some of these gift cards, it was it needed to change. So as we're sending out each product, as you can imagine, gets a gift message. So it became overwhelming. And this was in the early 2000s. Anyway, 2017, we have overhead conveyors, print on demand, 14 ship stations, 3 different shipping lines that do about 20 a minute within our shipping stations. And then in 2019, moved to Shopify Plus. 250 different products, thousands of SKUs, 60 customer service agents, 400 employees, about 20 year-round staff, 12 bow makers. All of our bows are made by hand, millions of yards of ribbon, just a great group of people. We have an amazing staff that move mountains, literally move mountains for us. Imagery is everything. I just added these at the end just for fun. This is a photo shoot in one of our coolers. We have 2 coolers now, showing off our products. These are my 2 girls. Again, at one of the photo shoots, and then this is an image taken last year in the 20 inches of snow that Seattle had. Eve and I had a photo with our photographer, had a photo shoot in the snow on the day that it snowed 20 inches. We are covered with snow, our tent's collapsing around us, and we're trying to get great pictures. And we had 4 photo shoots last year. Very important part of the farm is imagery and photography, showing off our product, we have beautiful red boxes, we have beautiful printed boxes, but we want the product inside even better than the boxes and even better than the photos are. So product quality, again, is second to none for us. We want to represent the farm and represent the gifting part of our service and the customers that are ordering. We do over 1,000 fundraisers, individual fundraisers, group fundraisers, big hospitals each year. We have our corporate sales team, which includes about 15 people taking bulk, big business type orders. the customer service staff answering thousands of emails and thousands of phone calls each and every day during that fourth quarter season. We're very fortunate. This is a very, Scott asked me to talk about the business and about how long we've been involved, been around, and I'm very proud of all of our people and our staff. We've definitely changed things in the last couple months to work from home and adjust. We do have staff that I'm continuing to pay that are at home, that are basically not affected by this COVID, but it isn't their fault. So we're fortunately in a position where we could continue to pay them. But our hope and our very much the hope in our whole country is that we're able to overcome this, and we're still ordering. We've definitely changed a little bit of what the new products that we're offering, and for the fourth quarter season, basically cut back and understand that we may not grow 25-30% on some of the higher end products that we offer, but we look forward to another wonderful season with our customers and to take care of our people. But again, it's kind of an unknown time that we're in. So Eve, you want to talk?
Yeah, just really quickly before you do, there's a couple comments here. Angela Hawkins said, "Gorgeous!" Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Great shot. Emily Pepperman said, "Wow!" All caps. I think when you can actually see these wreaths, these are the nicest wreaths you can get on the planet. Like that whole story about doing this with your family and your dad and your mom's a florist. Like there's a lot of care and love putting through these wreaths. But when you actually see this end product and these images, they are absolutely stunning. And before you hand it over to Evie, I just want to ask you, you talked about the volume of the business, like you scaling up in 400 employees. Like what kind of volume of sales are you doing? Like how many product SKUs do you fulfill in a day during a busy season?
Yeah. So I mean, we ship out about 6 to 7 semis a day of our products. Those are individual boxes. Again, it's no wholesale or orders. It's very much retail, all retail sales and all branded product sales. So it's thousands, 15,000-ish products per day that we're shipping out. We've grown. Again, it's all sustainable growth. So we've been able to take care of our old customers that have been with us for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in some cases, and continuing to add on new customers. And we make a bigger, fatter, more full wreath. Our wreaths are 8 pounds. Our competition is 4 pounds, and that's the truth. And I think our customers really appreciate that.
Excellent. Thanks for that update there. And Eve, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add a little bit, kind of just, we're in a little different situation kind of with COVID and everything. Obviously this time of year we're planning for, our fourth quarter season, and, we're still ordering. We have a sales buying team that's still dealing with our contacts overseas. They're seeing, positive things, communication, acknowledgement of orders, getting stuff in. So, it's not affecting us now. It's still business as usual. Obviously, we are concerned still about the fulfillment of everything, but we internally have a percentage that we grow, right? We say, okay, we can grow this much. This is what makes sense for the business. This is what makes sense for our inventory. If we get to that point, great. We know that we can handle it, and we move forward. So kind of when it comes to buying and kind of planning for this, it's like we already have that number set for us. So I would say maybe it's a little bit easier for us to kind of manage that. But obviously there's a little bit more risk at this point. But it's I'm involved in a lot of the company, kind of with Shopify. I was kind of lead on Shopify with Elena, and just the ability of doing different things in Shopify, using Pervy, using Klaviyo a lot easier, kind of retargeting people, building stories, just having that ability that we all have now. I mean, all the tools I believe are in our hands now, right? I mean, everything that we need to be successful, is there. It's just a matter of how we use them, right? And I think meetings like this, talking with everyone, different strategies are very beneficial for everyone, because you don't know what's going to come up. Something that someone like Kat's something that Kat says might drive a thought or anything. But I think this is kind of building a community now like this to help us get through this is going to be super important, because there's amazing companies that have the tools for us to be very successful. And it is as Michael says, it is going to change. Michael said we're living in a world that it's going this COVID might change our habits, might change everything, but people are still buying. People are still as long as people can get stuff delivered to their homes and in a safely manner and they feel comfortable, people are still going to buy online, and we may even see an increase on our online sales this year. So that's why internally we are hesitant, but we're not at the same time. It's definitely something that we're very cautious, but I think moving forward, we're still planning on doing extra marketing stuff, extra different sales, adding to what we did before. And I think it's super important to still keep that in mind, because, if we, as we get through this, it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity as well, as long as we can deliver a good product to our customer. And, kind of for us, Christmas is Christmas, right? And hopefully that's something that doesn't change for people, and people still want to give. And, we'll be ready to handle any volume we need, but it's definitely something that we're getting ready for. And, we'll see what happens in Q4, but, it's been interesting. I have those moments too, that one day I don't go to bed till 4 o'clock in the morning, because I'm trying to manage it, everything mentally, and trying to make sure the team's doing good and I'm doing good, right? It's just but it's definitely important to keep sane and kind of talking to people and making sure that you feel like you're in the right direction. But it's definitely our product speaks for itself, and that's once someone gets our product in their hands, we know they're going to be a lifetime customer. And that journey is very important for us as well, to make sure that that customer is going to get that product. I mean, that's why we spend the extra money on a red box that we don't need to, but it's a gift, right? It's the reason why we do an 8-pound wreath. Can we do a 4-pound wreath? Yeah. Can we produce more with a 4-pound wreath? Probably. But it's providing a quality product that's always separated us and will continue to separate us from our competition. As long as you give value to the customer, that's the key thing. Is if your product gives them value, and then you can create this journey with them by giving them something that that they get comments on every day, and that they get appreciated for having on their front door. They get asked, hey, where'd you get that? I mean, as long as they get that, then that customer is always going to know that, hey, I want a wreath from Lynch Creek because of this, right? Just that journey that's built. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's an interesting time, but I think we'll get through it.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely optimistic, cautiously optimistic on the winter, on Q4 for our customers and our product, and I guess that what we can leave everybody with, and hope for the best. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you. And Elena, is there anything that you want to add?
Yeah, just a few things related to this, what's happening now with the pandemic. Kat made up a good point about how she's, when her staff has time, they're calling customers. One thing that my customer service team is doing now, while it's the off season for us, but for other companies who may be experiencing a slowdown, if you have team members that are still working and maybe need some extra work, really reaching out to customers is very valuable. We recently did a customer survey that was sent out to thousands of our survey. We got very valuable feedback. And as part of that feedback, we actually, we gave customers the opportunity to let them know if there are things we need to improve on or to add any comment they wanted at the end. And we heard from some customers that had some challenges and, or had, issues with their experience with us, but hadn't contacted us during the season. They hadn't reached out to our customer service team or hadn't let us know that they had an issue. We found out about it through the survey, and it's been very valuable for us to take the time to reach back out to the folks that had a negative experience, whether it's through a phone call or an email, and the response we have gotten has been tremendous. How appreciative they are that someone took the time, even 2 to 3 months after they made their purchase, which you'd think maybe it was too late, but it really isn't. The fact that we reached out in person and either just apologized, acknowledged their issue, let them know we're working on it, letting them know that they're heard, or in addition, giving them some kind of compensation like a gift card for the next season because we really want to keep them and we value them. That has a tremendous amount of power. So I would say for companies that if you're having some extra time, your staff has some extra time, or even just to make the time to do that, that goes a very long way with customer, retention, but also just maintaining the relationship with them is very important. And the second thing I wanted to touch on is we talked about how we're ordering from, we're working with vendors now to order from, all of our components for the season. This is the time we're doing it. So just advice in terms of what we're dealing with. Some of our components are made in China, and as we all know, those factories are having challenges and slowdowns. And so one thing we're making a conscious effort to do is to get our orders in as early as possible. So getting them in the queue with the factories is very important. We have a lot of our components that have customization to them, ribbons that we have very specific coloring, or berries and other decorations that need waterproofing because our wreaths are hung outside. Candles that are made, specifically for us, things like that. So don't hesitate on ordering, even if you don't need it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Getting those orders in with the factories now, I think is really critical. And we're trying to make a conscious effort to do that and not wait. So, and then the third thing is just to stay adaptive. A number of folks talked about this, even you did, Scott, is just with this kind of so much unknown now, this year now, and as we move forward, just making sure that you leave room to be adaptable with advertising, customer messaging, and even with the types of promos that are being offered. We're doing as much pre-planning as we can, but we know fully we have no idea what things are going to look like in 3 to 4 months, and we're going to have to do some quick adjustments.
Yeah, thank you, Elena. Actually, that's someone, that was one of the questions I found in the Q&A. Doug Hoffman asked, he actually said, Andy, are you seeing any effect to your supply chain? But I think you kind of answered that there, but is there anything
it
to add that?
2 months ago, there was zero supply chain, what it seemed like. It was very challenging. China was shut down. Factory owners were held up in their houses in Beijing and allowed to out once a week to get food. They couldn't even visit their factories. There was it was problematic. Even you'd still had communication, but there was nothing. Samples are still, they're coming in. Literally just yesterday we received samples, but things are clearing up. So we're again cautiously optimistic. We have heard from everybody that we order from, and things are getting produced. Things are getting made. Largely our ribbon is already here. Bow makers are making bows. So I'm optimistic for sure.
Excellent. Okay, I have a couple more questions. I mean, it's good insights. The key question there is like the amount that you're selling, like the volume. If there was any roadblock in the supply chain, that could have like a big impact. So you must be keeping a very, very close eye on this.
Yeah. historically each year we have so many different products, and each product might have, 6, 7, 8 different components potentially in it. Some of the more simple products don't. They'll largely be sourced from the Pacific Northwest here. So basically, if it's a red bow, a plaid bow, and some berries, but if it's a more sophisticated product, any one of those components that doesn't come from to us, suddenly that product either has to change or it has to be put on hold till the next year. So that's kind of common anyway. And even if we don't have the opportunity to sell, we have 250 products. Let's say we miss out on 5 products, 10 products. Something happens to a certain supply chain. That's just a part of business, and something happens and it doesn't get here, or it's made incorrectly. That also happens. As much as we try to control the process of the creation of the product that we're using to adorn our wreaths, things happen, and if it isn't up to par, up to our standards, we won't use it, and to eliminate a few products will not impact us at all. Now, if you're talking about a red berry, and if we don't have red berries, that's a component that might be in 40% of our products. And so those are things that we have ordered early. We do have extra inventory of. We can't run out. If you're a wreath company and you run out of red berries or red bows, you're no longer a wreath company. You're done. So that is something that we do keep extra inventory on, just in case of that spike. I think Mike mentioned it. You have an increase in sales. You'll have a spike one way or another, and hopefully it'll be a positive way. So we want to be able to take advantage of that. So we aren't going to run out of red berries. We will not run out of red bows. So there's very specific things that I have always tried to keep extra inventory of, even though it's costly. But those red berries are still good the following year. Those red bows, our bow makers are making red bows literally 12 months out of the year. They're making them in January. So
this is a really important point, Andy. Like I told everyone earlier, I tuned into this webinar by Ezra Firestone. He's one of the leaders in the industry. He was saying he's not having an issue selling product. He's worried about running out of inventory. So when he can stock up on inventory, he's going to stock up and get enough for 3 months, 6 months, a year, or however far ahead you need to plan for. I have another question for you. This is a really, really heartfelt one. This is really funny. So this is Jung Shan from Pittsburgh. She says, the rescue, I'm assuming this is animal rescue. She says, the rescue that I work with does the fundraisers with you guys in the winter. What app do you use? What app do you use in running multiple fundraisers on your online store? Also, we're a big fan of your tabletop centerpieces.
I love it. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. We actually partner with FlipGive, which we are white labeled on FlipGive, which allows us to help all of the fundraisers, the 1,000+ fundraisers, create their own kind of web store, if you will, and sell as an affiliate program through our platform. And 15% of the money that they make, donates or goes right back to them. So that's awesome. That's I'm glad you like the centerpieces, and thanks for running a fundraiser.
Yeah, and thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone from Lynch Creek Farm. Like, look at these wreaths. Is this not the nicest wreath you've ever seen, everyone? Can everyone hop in the chat and say, yes, 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 this is the nicest wreath. All I want for Christmas is a tour of the farm. So if that's a thing.
I wanted to mention to Kat that this past year we partnered with a Labrador rescue nonprofit, and we created a Labrador Retriever wreath. It was extremely popular. It sold out very early. We're now offering it in yellow, chocolate, and black labs this coming season. We hope she visits our site.
I already did visit your site. I was like, oh, it's sold out. Then I realized it's from last year. So I'll be buying quite a few. I was like, they'll look great at the office.
Yeah.
Awesome, Kat.
Yeah, thank you, Kat. And thank you, everyone. If everyone wants to go, CBD, go buy some CBD dog food from Austin and Kat. My mom bought CBD dog food here in Canada from another supplier because it's not available here in Canada yet, but she had great results with an aging dog. It's really good for dogs with ailments and joint issues and muscle pains, and go buy some CBD dog food from Austin and Kat. And if you want to start getting excited about Christmas, go check out Lynch Wreaths. These guys are obviously unbelievable as well. Thank you all so much for joining as a panelist. I know that it's been really busy times and uncertain times for everybody, and we appreciate it, as well as everybody in the audience here. I get some people hopping in saying, yes, beautiful, love Labradors. I miss Dexter, my chocolate lab. So a lot of people piping up. You can go and take a peek at the messages in the message. Emily Peppermint says she learned a lot from everybody here in my panel. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to now send you away. So maybe one last goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Okay, see you, everyone.